I showed you the example. That is the reason in the physical dimension, what are the reflections you are seeing? Those are not the truth. So any conclusion you draw based on this will not be complete, you know. So whatever happening, now let me come back to our own lives, whatever happening in our lives, when if you look into that and you consider that why this is happening and all, you are only looking at the reflections. You are not looking at the totality and the truth. So just like from the dream coming to the physical reality, you have to wake up. So coming from our physical reality to the spiritual dimension or inner world or higher dimension, you have to wake up again to go to that level. And that process is called spiritual awakening. Our soul knows everything. The purpose of spirituality, I explained many times, I repeat it here because it's very important not to miss that point. Our spirituality is all about getting connected with your own soul consciousness and own soul consciousness and get guidance from it, regular guidance from that, from it thereafter. So first is the connecting with our own soul, and that process itself is a part of the spiritual awakening. The spiritual awakening, that this is that process. It goes into the level where we can connect with our own soul consciousness, and as soul knows everything, and we get to know the truth of that. As I just shown the example of that, that the disc and the cap of that bottle, it is the shape we know, but the reflections are that gives us a limited understanding of that one. So that is called the awakening. We are going to knowing the truth, to the higher dimension to know that truth. All right. So now let me come to the process part of it. That what triggers spiritual awakening? Spiritual awakening is inner call. All of us, because as we have our, we are soul consciousness, it is the path, it is our goal of life to, at some life or some point of time, to go back to our spiritual self or the higher self. When we have to take the call by our free will, it will not be automatic. So when we choose to knock the door, only then it will be opened. So when we choose to knock the door, when everything going fine and all, we are enjoying life and this and that, then nobody thinks about all these things. That, oh, pagal kutte ne kata kya, what's wrong with me? And but what happens is, at certain stages, it both extreme. Either it goes to hard hit from many direction, nothing is working in the life, or we got everything, still I still feel void. I still don't feel complete. What I earlier thought it will make me happy, I'm not. A few days, yes, but not thereafter, no. Not only that, when we go to that level, a lot of other fear comes that earlier it was not existent. If suppose I have a lot of money I accumulated, then this process that when we lose something, it is become that big of the fear. So finally, what happens is, so whenever a certain thing happens in our life, not necessarily bad, I just explained earlier, but mostly it is coming from feeling stuck or not. The solution is not coming. We applied whatever we know from the physical world, whatever the techniques, whatever the knowledge we have gathered, all we applied, but it is not working. So that time we start searching the meaning of life and the purpose of that, all those things, and those answers are not here. Those answers are not in the physical dimension. Otherwise, we could have got it already. It cannot be searched in a Google or reading somewhere, because it is not available there. It has to be our own set of issues. The answer stops a particular point. When that answer stops, then that is the trigger point of our inner journey to open up. That path then opens up if we wish to. We have a free will. It is not mandatory. Or we can just keep blame the system, blame the life, and everything, and go to the some other spiral. But it ultimately doesn't matter. But we can go into that level as well. So when the understanding comes, that with that it comes the empowerment. I'm not saying it will solve your issues easily. What I'm saying is that it will give you empowered with the higher understanding to look at it life in a complete different way. In other words, whatever the colored glasses we wear earlier, to look at the life, you throw everything, then you get the clear picture, the truth. That comes from this higher dimensional understanding, or the spiritual understanding of the matter. And as I said, that's our spirit or our soul consciousness knows everything. So there is, from getting connection, we have understanding, and that works that way. All right. So now let me come to the level that what triggers it. Now let me come to that. What are the different stages is normally go? Normally it go first. Once I said the trigger point, when we cannot get the answer, we searching the meaning, and then then looking here and there, don't know what to do. If you are serious enough to your search, to your seeking for the answer, seeking for the meaning, then what happens when you are ready? Then a master appears in your life when you are ready. Okay. So you need not to know, and you need not to know everything and search too much. Only thing you should be willing to open the further door. When that master appears in your life, the master will be master will be sent to you, actually, who is appropriate for you. Whether you like it or don't like it, that is your choice. But it will definitely appear. Again, to knowing something from that master, it's up to you. Again, you have a free will. But the master then gives some kind of knowledge and some kind of teaching. So, and maybe some method will be taught. And this is the first part is called the initiation. Initially, when you interact with any master. When you get initiated, then some method is recommended for you. So again, you have a choice. You may not follow, don't like to follow, it's up to you. But when you get the method, and those method is called the spiritual practices or Kriya. Because it is a starting of a spiritual journey. So practices also should be spiritual in nature. So now now what is happening that if you practice that, if you follow that guidance, then it will take you further to the next step. Next step means then you slowly you come to the understanding and realization. And of course, when the master tell you to do something, they will definitely tell you to meditate as well. And in parallel, in addition to doing the practices, you have to meditate as well. And during this meditation, you go into the higher level of awareness. More and more you meditate, you go to the higher level of understanding. Also, the practices, what is given to you, it raises your vibration, because a lot of things at the lower vibration we cannot realize, we cannot feel, we cannot understand. So rather than a victim of the situation, you become the empowered to go into so that you can control that events on your life or face that things, so that you need the power, the energy. And that's how it expressed is by our cellular vibration of our body, or it's also known as PEVF. So those practices will help to raise your vibration. And your meditation will give you some kind of experiences, fully alert and awake state, not during sleeping. Those are not dreams, those are your meditational experiences. And a lot of things will come and you go to the further expanded awareness state. A lot of things will be revealed to you that your communication with the higher self that starts. And then you can get some kind of glimpses or things or ideas or answers of many, many things that will come through these processes. It can happen different persons in a different way, but this phase of the meditational experience that has to pass through, means there is no other shortcut way. It is through meditation. How long it takes, it depends, because time we are measuring into that physical reality, higher dimension, there is no time. There is no time, there is no space. So it is not a appropriate question to ask how long it will take, but the pace of that, our spiritual progress. One of the questions I've written, what determines it? It determines your PVF and your the vibrational frequency and your persistency of following that path, meditation and all those things, your commitment. So it is also said, वो जो है ना, लगन में अगन होना चाहिए. Means it is not, you should be passionate enough to follow the path, then it will click faster. Also, you have to, in this whole process, you have to get check with your ego mind, because ego mind is our biggest obstacle for our faster growth. Ego, our need to be silenced. Over the period of time, it got automatically silenced. At one point of time, ego annihilation happens. But before that, it becomes like, it becomes wounded and it try to, grab you back from the spiritual path. It works in three ways. So first, it can inject some doubt in your mind, or it can logically prove that it doesn't worth it, and your time, your effort, and whatever the result you will get, it is not needed, or something of that nature. It is useless. That is a logically convincing. Or it can inject some fear in us. Injecting fear is just opposite of feeling compassionate or pure love. So when you go into the territory of fear, we come into under influence of the external world. External world, the systems are designed in such a way, it is to control people by fear. We fear of something, then we have to comply with something. Then only fear of, say, traffic fine, we drive better, something of that nature, follow the traffic rule. So, but in the inner world, the spiritual domain, fear does not exist. It is all about, love, because we are made of pure love. We are Prema Sarupa, I mentioned earlier many times. We are made of manifestation of pure love. So it is a journey towards the love, not out of the fear. Not that if you don't meditate, you will be punished this way or something wrong will happen. Those are again fear. So those are not the way. So if you are practicing, spiritual practicing out of fear, you miss the point from the beginning. It's not that. Also, the killer thing is expectation. Like, if you are expecting too much, then also you will quickly develop a sense of failure, because you have some expectation. So then it is also takes time. Expectation also injected by ego. It's also, we need to learn how to practice without expectation, just for the joy of the moment, enjoying whatever we are doing, enjoying the journey, not always looking for what I got, what result I have got, how much I achieved, how much percent of journey I completed, how much left, and all. These are all mind games. So we will be easily frustrated or tired if you are going into that route. But if you are enjoying that journey, that is reward by itself, you will definitely reach your goal, but not giving too much. So whatever I just explained it to you, those are things that are deterrent of our faster spiritual growth. If those things are happening, then your spiritual growth or the pace will be delayed. If you can drop all this analysis and measurement and how much I come, how much I'll go, and what benefit I got, and what is what benefit I have got so far, and all these things. So then you have missed the point, and it will delay it further. Okay, so next what happens is that at one point of time, then your heart chakra opens, and you really that win the part of your feeling the pure love. You can experience what you can never felt before. It is just a connectedness with everything, like all other people or the animal or the planet and the nature and the sea, mountain, everything you feel connected. So that is a signal of your heart chakra opens. The more it opens, the more you feel connected, and more satisfying the life experiences become. So then we go further and further, and we got when we and then opens our throat chakra. Throat chakra is a communication. This throat chakra, physically we use our throat to communicate with the external world, but when throat chakra opens, I'm not talking throat box, voice box, then it is a communication opening with the higher self, a higher domain. So in this process, what happens is, if phase comes when a lot of the karmic things, whatever the storage, some sanchita karma or whatever, from the fifth body, Karan Deha, it gets downloaded, and you experience some of the things like passing through what is called the turbulent phase. Like a lot of things surfaces out, and most of the things you don't like. Maybe you have done something in the past, and those things will come up. Something you don't like, you thought you forgotten, and all those things. So why this this kind of uncomfortable things comes up? Because these are the part of your healing process. It likes a bubble, like you say, fish aquarium. There is a bubble, no? Some kind of bubble generating machine comes, and so that bubble comes out and goes and leaves the aquarium. So more you suppress that bubble, it will create more disturbances and thought. If you allow that to go, it will go forever. Same here. So those bubbling it out in the system, and that it is called churning, will happen, your inner systems and all those things. The churning comes, and the healing happens simultaneously. Those part of it is not very easy, but what I'm saying is those are also part of the process. Anytime you are spiritually advanced enough, but you feel that you are undergoing a tremendous some effects, some painful scenario or something like that, understand that those are happening for your permanent healing. Those are going forever. So those are coming to the surface. You have to let go, not to judge again. Ki I have done so much, I have practiced so much. Why again? If that happens, then ego will come back again. Okay. If you go to the judgment mode, and if you judge that why again it is happening, it is for your own good. It is for your own betterment. Those are coming. It is painful, but it is just coming to get it released. So allow that to happen. You have to, and in this whole process, that when this happens at one point of time, that the ego annihilation takes place. Like the ego, by the time, if you can win that part, win that phase of not feeling that victimhood of that process, if you can just surrender, it will be over, of course, at certain point of time. But that time, if you can, go through this phase, then your ego can no longer control you. Then this is the step when you are ready. You are ready you got detached from the external world. You are in the witness mode. All the time you are in the witness. Like you don't involve yourself into it. You are in the witnessing. You are experiencing life. Things are not happening to you. Things are happening for you. You are experiencing life. You are in the witnessing. 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 You are in the w you are witnessing the things what are happening outside you. Okay, the whole thing changes. Being a like a character into that event or a drama of your external world or life, you become like a CCTV. Okay, you are no longer into those kind of characters, and you are just simply watching, and watching and experiencing and moving forward. This particular phase, when you got completely detached from your physical identity and you are in the witness mode, you are observing, you become so powerful because nothing external can affect you, can drag you. Even if somebody says bad words to you, misbehaved with you, you don't take it, on your shoulder, like it's okay. And just you can develop that, forgive and forget, that kind of qualities, because you are detached. This is not true me. I'm just, my representative is there. So in that phase, when you go into the deeper meditation and this, then one particular, it can be here also, during when you get to the difficult phase or something, also you may be needing some guidance from the masters as well. Master will definitely guide you when you are ready, when you are for that portion of the time. But of course, master we need not to consult daily, but you need to time, if the masters will guide you at the appropriate moment, whenever necessary. Then at one point of time during your meditation, you will be, that the process is called trio-dissolution. Trio-dissolution is like suppose there is one object, one observer, and the process of observation. These three things are involved. So witnessing also three things involved. Something to witness, that is object. And who is witnessing? That is the witnesser. And the process of this is called witnessing. So when we go into that, what happens is that your ego got dropped completely. Ego got dropped completely. The witnesser get dropped. When the witnesser get dropped, then the process of witnessing also disappears, because there is no one into witnessing. The things are happening, but the object is there. But it is objecting, is expressing itself. It is not related to something else. Not because somebody is witnessing or somebody is experiencing or somebody is analyzing. It is not depend on somebody. It is just expressing itself. It is like a flower is giving fragrance. Fragrance is giving for whom? Maybe for nobody. Just it is giving fragrance by itself, and that is complete by itself. You don't need anybody else, or how strong, how fragrance is, what is the quality of fragrance, doesn't matter. It is given fragrance, that matter ends there. So that is come to a stage. When that stage comes, our human existence that comes, and then one of the days, maybe we'll be able to go into meanwhile we learn how to silence our mind, go to the stillness of the mind. So when the experiencer drops and we go into the stillness for more than 45 minutes at a stretch, so then one particular point, the Guru Kripa happens. Like Guru Kripa means it is all your karmas, past life karmas are just taken, just wiped out in a moment. And that's called Guru Kripa. It happens. You cannot achieve that. That's why that is not possible to predict when it will happen. But there's two things I mentioned. When you go to the complete stillness of your mind, you can hold the thoughtless zone, and also you're completely detached from the external world, and you be pure witness. You can experience, just experiencing itself, not analyzing, not doing anything. That is you are completely ready for that jump, the quantum jump or the shift. And that is not in your hand. It is like it's a Guru Kripa. It is that time it happens, then it opens up. And this process, this is the phase of your enlightenment. This is the process. But again, it is not necessarily it will happen only in this way. There are other ways also it can happen. And it can simply happen by divine grace. Nothing is needed. That is also there. And so there, but normally I'm saying in general for our seekers, this is how the sequence it follows. Yeah. So if you, so I will discuss about that, what happens after the post-enlightenment. Okay, let me continue. So once one got enlightenment, that means that this will be your last life. Like all the karma is taken. There is no karmic birth left. You have to no longer, come from birth and the cycle. You are coming out of it. And now you have all karmic accounts are closed. This is the time. What happens is you got a lot of gift from the divine. One of the things you get is the healing ability. You have to, of course, your heart chakra open. You feel connected with all. You got healing ability. You got many other things. Sometimes you get thought reading and many other abilities you develop. You can feel the energy of other person. You can feel the aura, and you can see the aura of people and the chakras and all this kind of things. So, and in this, in the whole process, also you get gift of going back to your past lives and look at your past lives, what happened by your choice, by your will. By meditation, you can go there. And also future is revealed to you as well. So this life, what is happening, become no longer important. Your soul's journey reveals to you, like how you entered into the art plane and what are the different lifetimes you go through, what are the purpose of this life, and what was the things, spiritual lessons you learned in the previous lives. All these are revealed to you. So when all these things are revealed to you, and then, of course, there will be many things. I was telling, we have a lot of questions that you didn't get any answer, and something happened wrong maybe in your life, and you don't know why it is happened in this lifetime. You have not harmed anyone, or you don't deserve that to happen, but something is happening. You will get an understanding of those as well. So whatever your questions, all your questions will be answered. Later on, there'll be no questions left. Whatever your questions are, all will be answered. Internally, there's no one else, not asking somebody. From internally will get downloaded. You ask the question, you get the answer internally. You know the universal knowledge or Brahma Gyan. You get in touch with the higher dimensions, higher dimensional masters. You get in touch with angels and guides, and from that higher level of consciousness, the universal truth, that it gets downloaded uncontaminated, because your ego has silenced long back. There's no one here to contaminate those and analyze those. You're just getting those truth. At one point of time will come that when you have no further question to ask. All your questions you have already asked, got your answer. Whether you like the answer or not doesn't matter. So maybe past life you have done something, you cheated someone, and that's what you got cheated this life. So you come to know about it, but you may not be happy that that happened, but that doesn't matter. But the truth is truth. So, and in higher dimension, there is no positive and negative either, no duality. So there is no good and bad. It is just an experience. Some experience happen, this needs to compensate with another thing, so they become energy neutral position. So when you got all your answers and nothing left, or something may appear in future, some question, then momentarily you get answer what comes to you. So some of the terminologies, suppose say COVID happened in 2019. Yeah. So people who got the enlightened before that, they may not be knowing the COVID will come, but when it came, that what it is, they got the understanding that time. So what I'm saying is, it is not that you need to know everything beforehand, but as and when you ask it, it will be given to you. And if it is not given to you, it is also possible that some of the answers you will not get, you understand that is for a different purpose. That is for giving you some experiences. You need to undergo those experiences. That's why it is not given to you, because it will spoil that experience. That's why. So that after this period, then you have nothing else to do or nothing. I mean, of course, all of us, we are householders. We'll do our duties for sure. We'll work, we'll earn money and all this. But in the spiritual aspect, nothing else to be done. So most of the time here, the people, they surrendered themselves. Post enlightenment, when everything is known, nothing else. And then they realize how perfect the universe is, the perfect the world is. Our traditional belief system says it is opposite. So when it is, and that time, most of the time, there's something, some people, they become mystic. Mystic means they are enlightened, they understand. They surrendered themselves to the divine and then live their life in that condition, like praise the name of the Lord, praise the divine, and they spend their life there. And some of them, they choose to become master. So they, not only for their part is over, but they wanted to help others to get enlightened, to walk the path. And so they basically, they surrendered themselves, of course, but then they go back to help others. The mission of their life is to help the humanity, help others to walk the path to understanding. So different people chooses different method to do that. Some chooses to do seva only by service, doing some service, and some people chosen to go and teach bhakti to people, how what is bhakti, how to do that, how to practice. Some of them, it based on their own the stronger ray, we call it. There are 7 rays. So some, they chosen to go by the knowledge. The knowledge and wisdom they share, so that the people, they're looking for that kind of knowledge. So this way, there are many the ways they spend there. The masters also, there are different types of teaching, different types of ways to guide others. So they do guide them, and somebody become pure healer, just heal people. So there are different paths to choose to serve the humanity, and but that part of their life, every moment they are connected, they are living with the moment by moment with a pure bliss. That is a joyful living, that is enlightened living. And till the end of the life, they go through the process, and then the life ends there. So this is a post-enlightenment process, what I explained after these things. But when we go through that process, when you come to know the truth, all questions are answered, then before you become a master or go to the next stage, one period comes, it is called silence period. It can go into several years, when you get detached from the external world, also not very communicating with too much into that. Of course, you are not living the family or anything. You are still there in this world, but you are completely secluded from that, isolated, and do your own practices and all these things. So that also comes. So I just didn't mention it that time, but I'm saying that silence period comes, then you finally, that end of that, you become this enlightened living part of it, or become master, that comes. And once you become a master, you will be guided by the Guru Mandala. A lot of high-dimensional masters, they guide you. And whatever they wanted to do for the others, you become their representative, you become their agent, the divine agent, and they will be operating through you. So that is how it works. All right. So that completes our learning session. So if there is any question, then I'll be happy to answer them.
I have a question.
Yes, Nirupam.
Acha, you are telling that after enlightenment it will be blissful state. Is it continuous 24/7 all the time? Because that time also there will be some struggle, some experience, some difficult experience will continue. So this bliss will be only during meditation time or part of the time, or it will be all the time.
No, that is a good question. Let me put it in this way: all the troubles and all external worldly troubles will not go. Okay. So if you see the trouble in that sense, that will you have to face a lot of things. You have to face enmity. You have to face, some financial difficulties sometimes, and people may try to harm you. Those things will be there. Even Jesus Christ, he was crucified, killed by nailing, like a person like Jesus Christ, right? Gautam Buddha also faced a lot of things, and many. Anyway, so what I'm saying is, externally, if you say the difficulties, externally it will happen. You cannot stop that. But internally, you will have a so much strong, like if your surrender is proper, then internally you will always have the inner peace. You will not come out of that. No matter what is happening outside, you will follow your mission no matter what. So very rarely we'll see that some master, because of some external difficulty, they have stopped their mission. It doesn't happen that way. So because it is also, to some extent, it is, even as a master also, they have their own tests. They also their own set of teachers training, teachers test. Okay. So those are there, so, but it also, tested that, what is called the strength of that. So if you are truly into, you're trusted to the soul consciousness, because without the permission of our soul, nobody can do any harm. That is understanding. Even a patta bhi nahi hil sakta in your life without permission of your soul. So that time what happens is, as you raise the question, let me put your soul wants to be best out of you. Okay. Those obstacles are put by your soul only, nobody else. So you make a, so diamond of some quality, maybe a few $1,000, it wants you to make a few $1 million diamond. So to do that, it has to undergo further processes. Okay. Because why? Because they wanted to finish it in this life itself, because this is an opportunity. Human life is also an opportunity. So you cannot just go and just stay there. So whatever maximum possible, so you go into that territory and undergo all those things, undergo all these things. But internally, you are always know that. Internally, always peaceful. That state never goes. If it goes, then you drop from that, your state. And if it really goes, you are not. Maybe you reach there, but you cannot sustain that. There is something called sustained enlightenment. Sustainability comes from your own thing. It is nobody else. That also sometimes tested and things like that. Or you just tested whether you are using this spirituality for your own benefit or not, and things like that. Whether you're truly dedicated. But things comes back. But only thing is, you have to go to some things like that, that patches and all those kind of things. And also, I mentioned into some earlier session that the understanding what I've given the difficulty, it is like climbing say Himalaya. So last snow peak. Post enlightenment also, your peak is not complete. That's what I'm saying. The ultimate thing we need to achieve. So suppose Himalayan, some range you are climbing. So you took a car and gone through many ranges and all 4 or 5 ranges crossed. One point of time, there is no road, motorable road. Then you take something, what is called some animal and all these things, put some luggage, or then you have to walk. And finally, one point of time will come, even that animal also cannot go. You have to simply walk. Less luggage, a lot of baggages you have to shed and drop. So the last one, maybe the final mountain you go, the one before, you can see the mountain is there. You have to climb that peak. But like, huge gorge will come. You have to go down, maybe, 1,000, 2,000 meter down to the bottom of the hill and again climb up all the way. There is no help. You have to do it your own. And that is very steep. But it is necessary to go to the ultimate point, that snow-clad mountain peak, whatever you are climbing here. And because I was also used to do mountaineering, finally when you go near the peak, it is very, very difficult. So strong wind, so, crevices and all those kind of things. The moment you just slip one, you're dead. But that journey needs to be taken to reach to the peak. So same here. So, and there will be a lot of difficulties, but that reminds me one, one Rabindranath Tagore's 2 lines of a poem. It's in Bengali, but I will translate it because I think it is relevant to tell that. The poem is, the kata heri khanto kano kamala tulite, dukkho bina sukho labh hoy ki mohite. And now I'll translate. Kata heri means looking at the throne, kata. Like suppose there is a flower, the gulab, and there is a kanta, a lot of kanta. So looking at the kanta, why you stopped, getting the flower? Kanta heri khanto kano. Khanto means why you stopped. Kano, why? Kamala tulite. Kamal is flower, to pluck the flower. Dukkha bina, without dukh. Sukha love, the happiness, without sadness, the happiness will not come. Like dukkha vina sukha love, hoy ki mohite. Hoy means is that happen in this earth. Mahi means earth. So that means that basically the English translation of the full thing is looking at the throne, why you stopped at getting into the flower, getting the flower. Without pain, there is no gain. That's it. Okay. So higher the gain, higher the reward, tougher the path. So when you reach near the peak, your path gets extremely tough. Oxygen is less and you have got a lot of physical things are needed and all those things. But those are not the punishment. Those are the process to get you the reward. So that is the understanding of that path. So the post-enlightenment also, a lot of things may come, but this way. It doesn't end there into the bottom. It is a path to go to the next one, to the highest one, to the most, stiffest one. That is the path. And sometimes we get the understanding that is the only path. Means you cannot get anywhere else. You have to go through if you wish to. Okay. Anyway, does it answer your question? You're silent.
Yeah. Thank you. It is understood. I understood. Only thing is that what I feel is that once if somebody understood the truth that way, then then the external things should not matter. That should be that way you can.
Yeah. No, external truth. See, what happens is external truth become external truth, but the purpose is different. Purpose is not to punish you. Purpose is to make you stronger. See, it is not that you go on and go down and you can never, got up into this thing. So that is not the reason for those hardships. The purpose is completely different. It is not a punishment. It's a process. So you have to keep going. You will reach to the end. Okay. All right. God bless you. Sharmishta, I see you raise your hand. You would like to ask anything?
Yes, Rajiv, that witnesser and witnessing, if you can explain that with one example.
Witnessing? Okay. So witnessing is that whatever you are experiencing in life, you are not getting yourself involved into it. You are just experiencing as if you are just standing by and things are happening in front of you. Okay, so that is a witnessing. I've given an example of CCTV. Like a CCTV, it can observe everything. Suppose in a mall, everything is happening in the mall, but CCTV itself is not involved into this. It is not a part of that, what is happening there. So this is called witnessing, and witnessing can happen. Basically, what happens is initially, let me start this way. The initial practice is just to witness what is happening in my own mind, my own thought. That is a starting point of the witnessing. Because if I know what is going on in my mind at a particular moment, then I'll be able to see how our mind reacts to any external input. So when we go into that, when we watch that, only then it is possible for me to understand how it is reacting. If there is any reaction, then instead of reacting it immediately, I have created a space when I can respond rather than to react. If there is no space in between, then even without me understanding, the reaction will go out. And maybe some of the reaction we may regret. So that is the detached living, is that you are going through that. Of course, you will be doing all the duties, whatever you need to do, whatever you need to say, but all those things. But you will not getting carried away with whatever ego is prompting. Then we are in the witness. We said, oh, my mind is telling this and thing like that. Then you have a control. You have the power is with you. Power is not, it is not automatically some response. Reaction is coming. So that is the state of witnessing. Then you come to different witnessing, and from the thought, then we have the breathing and other heart and all those things. Those are all part of the witnessing practice. But the thing is that we should be aware of this without our mind getting involved. The witnessing is a tool where our soul gets connected directly, our consciousness gets connected. Wherever we focus attention, it goes into our consciousness level, no longer stays at the mind level. So, and consciousness level, if we get guidance from the consciousness, that is the best way we can live a life, so because it knows everything, our past, present, of course, and future. So it can guide us better, and that is the purpose of enlightened living, to live in the moment by moment under the guidance of our soul consciousness. Okay, I just given little bit of understanding of what witnessing is all about. It is declutching, some say declutching, or just creating some space so that something can be done, some action can be taken, or some response can be a calibrated response rather than an automatic one. Okay.
So one more thing in this respect, I would like to ask that I think in psychology, I don't know everything in detail. I just know on the surface level. So in psychology, I think it says whatever you are seeing in others or observing, that is what it is going on in your own mind, right? That is why you are seeing it outside of you. So how will I then detach myself if the same thing is going on in my mind, and then I am seeing that in others?
Okay. So let me put it in this way. Psychology is understanding of how mind works. Okay. That is correct. Here I am talking to bypass mind. Okay. Not the reflection in the mind. So it is not a psychological way of looking at things. These things, what we see, all the experiences we get from the external world. Our life is all about what we are experiencing inside. That's it. Okay. It is not what is happening. How I am looking into it, how I am experiencing, that is my life. That's why same incident, 5 people, their experiences are different. Because their point of view are different, way of looking at different, state of mind is different, and things like that. Okay. So here, even though it is correct what you mentioned in the psychologically, but I'm saying that you have to go beyond that psychology, beyond that mind state. You have to go to the truth as it is. If we can go bypass that, the analytical module, then we can see the truth as it is. Like there is no analysis, just simply what what is it as it is. That is why there is no such analysis. So that's what, when we go to that level, then the truth reveals by itself, to understanding the truth of it, and that is the self-realization. Okay, not under any kind of analysis by our mind. That will never get you onto the truth. No matter of analysis can give us to the truth. When we drop the analysis, then we can see the truth. It is like, the muddied water. Mind muddy the water, so that's why the bottom of the pond we cannot see. But once, if we don't do anything, just become still, one point of time the mud settles, the color of the water changes, it becomes transparent. We see the bottom of the pond as it is. Okay, same here, same like the characteristics of the mind.
Okay.
Okay, all right. God bless you. Sreshi, you raised your hand. You have some question?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So this question came when Nirupam sir was asking you about problems after post enlightenment. So long back, like before I came under your guidance, I had heard from one of my friends that in our life gives us problems. To the extent that we can endure those, like you will be given situations or challenges in life which you can endure. Okay, so when you're saying that our soul only, nothing happens without the permission of our soul, so that means that like soul wants us to experience the problems, but it gives, and like, I mean, we can face it accordingly. It gives us situations. Like, is that correct? And secondly, um, like sometimes when there are problems, um, I get impacted, okay, about what is happening, and then like a bit worried. And sometimes I'm able to watch it, like in the sense, okay, this is there, it has happened. Maybe it is a part of the soul who wants us to experience this. What is needed at this moment, let me do that. That is only in my capacity, and then leave it to the divine. Those kind of approach. So why do I have this different approaches? Same person having two different approaches at two different times. Like what is the reason? Like sometimes when I'm not able to see this, and sometimes I'm able to.
Okay, let me put it in the first part of it. Why our soul puts different things in the troubles in front of us. There are, our understanding wise, we need to understand one thing. As I said, in the higher dimension, there is no duality. It is not a problem and pleasure and the different. It is just an experience. Okay, at soul level. We consider it as a difficulty. We consider it as a problem. But at the soul level, it's just another experience you have to go through and mature and things like that. Question is why they put these things in front of us, even though it is not comfortable, if it's not pleasurable and things like that. Understanding of that comes from like exam in the school and colleges. Yeah. Now your parent wants you to pass the exam, class 5 and then class 6 and then 7, 8, 9, 10, and then going to higher secondary and then colleges. Why? Because unless until you graduate, maybe you will not be good for some job or something like that. You need to have some kind of education to face the external world, to earn yourself and things like that. So when your parents told you to go and appear in the exam or sit for the exam, they are not feeling they're doing anything ill for you. Ultimate purpose is good. But that moment, normally, in the childhood also, we hate exams, and things like that. It is not a pleasant experience altogether, Sometimes we didn't get marks as we as we think we deserve, and all those kind of things. But those processes are important. We need to go through the experiences, need to go through the examinations, because it is for going higher and higher level, and same applicable till end of the life. Yeah? Only the form of exam changes. It can come from the different ways. In a higher level, the exams, they fall into those three categories of either it should be health related, relationship related, or money related. Okay. Those are the areas you have to keep giving exams, strengthen ourselves and all those things. And for the spiritual masters also, there is a spiritual level as well. So that your capacity is to be tested where your intentions are pure. How can the divine can deploy you as an agent when you yourself, antakaran shuddhi, your inner is not clear? To check whether you are truly pure inside, you will be put into that something where maybe every moment you will think that is all, maybe you will say all useless, why should I do all these things? Yeah, then you fail in that as well, in the exam. Anyway, so this is first question is it is the exam. So yes, souls puts us the exam so that we pass. Once you pass the exam, same exam never comes back. Okay, so that is the reality also. So better to face it rather than running away from it. If you run away, again you have to give. If I drop one exam, we sit in the same class and next year again the same exam will come, right? Same here. Okay. And second, your thing is why the different, time you face the different type of thing. Because, see, what happens is we all grow in awareness. When we grow in awareness at the different stages of awareness, same issue appear in a different way. If you're aware, if you're more like surrendered, then our problem will not become a problem. It will just maybe some small challenges and all those things. So whatever best we can do, we'll do, and rest we leave it to the divine. But if you're in a low in awareness, we blame everything for our troubles. We make it, big out of the small issue. Because that time our ego is working, ego wants to satisfy itself. Ego will convince us, this what you are facing, it is the biggest problem one can ever have. Okay. So it all depends upon where your awareness is. If your awareness level is high, then these small things will not make you much difference. If you are a good sailor, that bigger storm will come to you. As you mentioned that whatever your capacity, that way problems, it is not given. In even this kind of problem, not given what we cannot handle. Amarjyoti ji came here last month and he was mentioning that the problems are, whatever problems we face in our life, it is much less than our capacities given to us, God-gifted capacities. Yeah. So if the external world given you the problems, God has given you much better capacity to handle it. So use that power, use that capacity. Okay. Bring that forward. It is a time. Okay. Bring that in and show that, yes, we'll do it. Nobody else. You will not find anybody else. You have to face it and do it. You have that God-gifted capacity. Otherwise, no problem will come which you don't have a capacity. Okay. So that just Amarjyoti ji's that your question reminded me of that. So you understand that if you have given a certain problem by your soul or whoever, yeah, understand that your capacity is much higher. Okay. And the exam example, our parent or whoever, our guardian will not allow us to sit in an exam if they know we are worthless. We cannot pass in our lifetime. Eh? So they push us there so that we pass through that test and we can qualify ourselves. That is the purpose. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Guruji.
God bless you. Any other question?
Let
Yes,
me ask.
Vikas.
Yeah. As you mentioned, post-enlightenment, few mistakes or few masters, they suffer from health issues or physically some problems.
Yeah.
Why it is so? Once their karmas are already burnt, still they suffer.
Yeah. See, most of the time, in this case, what happens? The master, they take somebody else's pain to relieve the other person's. Like Ramakrishna Paramahansa Dev has a throat cancer, no? So he has picked it up from somebody. The technique is known because, see, at one point of time, the master realizes he or she needs to leave the physical body anyway. So, but just to help other, out of compassion, they take somebody else's, disease or somebody else's pain into his or her own physical body, and then they leave body with that. All this, many masters, they left with something like J.P. Krishnamurti and the many masters, they left with, some disease or something like that. But most of the cases, it is not because of some punishment they're getting of their karma. It is they're taken to relieve somebody else, just to, so that the other, they take it upon themselves so that others can get free of that. So that is the reason for that they are going through those things. But it is by choice. They don't have to. They could have choose not to take up as well. But highly compassionate masters, they do sometimes this and before they leaving the physical body. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any further question? Okay. So,
Sir,
yes, Shweta.
sir, no question, but really so much thanks, sir, for all such a beautiful margdarshan and whatever you do. Thank you so much, sir.
God bless you. So that was, it is not me, divine has chosen to pass this information to you all through me. So I'm also blessed in that regard. So if whatever service you do, if it changes at least one person's life, then purpose of your life has been served. Okay. So that is the spiritual the dynamics. Most of the things what we lose here, we feel like a failure and lose in the three-dimensional thing. Same thing, you take it as a treasure and the reward, in like afterlife, like in the spiritual domain. So these are all goes with you, and it has been highly valued and rewarded. Last few days, was a detailed discussion with Babaji on many matters. And earlier, Babaji's message was very short and cryptic. Only the understanding used to come, but now for a different purpose. So Babaji is preparing for bigger mission. So come to the detail on this from those kind of discussion. It is His grace that He is coming to that level and giving this kind of understanding and that. So earlier I was giving example of the going down the hill and up the hill and all those kind of things. This is Babaji's example, Okay, because it is not the punishment you have been giving. You have been, Babaji is telling that you have been, if you undergo that kind of thing, then you understand that you are chosen one. You are chosen one. You are because you have been put into that path. Many people, maybe where the car stops in Himalayas, no, they can see the mountain and go back from there because car doesn't go beyond. So they're not willing to take the further journey. Maybe some animal and days after days in the camps and say tents and all those kind of things. Forget about climbing and down up by foot, on foot. So those kind of the divine also doesn't come into that for that kind of thing, that to make it easy, because that is a process to be there. That is a price you should be willingly need to pay to be there. So those who are willing and the divine grace happens to them. So one point, just I'm sharing one communication that that when you go down, even after enlightenment, you go down terribly down. It's practically impossible to reach there. You come to a certain level, it is so. So then I was asking Babaji that what is happening. It looks like keep on going down and almost got down and down, and it looks like it is not stopping anywhere. Babaji, this will be another story. That is the story of my life. That this free fall. Babaji is saying no, that will not be your story. Maybe some people will see you doing that and they will run away. Let them run away. They are not needed anyway. So they are not ready. Your story is from where we'll hit the bottom. From there, what you will become. That will be the story. That will be your story. Not this. Okay. So anyway, so that is Babaji's words. I'm just telling you. So whenever divine, for divine purposes, we need to go down. Understand that very high level of, it is a prelude of taking a very high level. Okay, when the arrow, bow and arrow, when the arrow goes back, the time of release has come. Then it will go. More it is taken back, further it will go. It tensed, a lot of pressure, and back. So, see, bow and arrow. So going back, a lot of pressure, a lot of tension, nothing. But at the divine moment when it is released, the thing it will go and hit the target so far, that can never happen in the normal circumstance. Yes, Sonika? Okay.
I'm
Thank
sorry,
you
it
so
was
much,
my
sir.
mistake.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay, Shweta. Okay, God bless you.
Uh,
Yes, Vikas.
if time permits, shall I ask one more question?
Oh, please, go ahead. No problem. Yeah.
Is there any indication to know that a person is enlightened? For common people like us, how to
common people, is difficult because it is difficult by common people to know. So, but some people ask me, how do I know whether I am enlightened or not? So that is very simple. It is that answer to that question is, if at your will you can switch off your thought mind, and after 15 minutes switch on the thought. If you can do that, you are enlightened. That's all. Very simple. So that is your own self-test. But for others, it is difficult. Because to understand that, you have to go to a certain level of awareness. At least you should be able to read aura of people, that level, so that you can do the aura. And very high level of masters, even they can switch off their aura. If you see Amar Jyoti ji, initially I see why it looks so simple, no. Then I realized he switched off first 3 aura. It's my understanding. It's nobody told me. That's I'm just sharing with you. first three auras means whoever can see the fourth and onwards, only they can know that he is not normal. I mean, not normal means he is such elevated. Spiritually elevated. So, but normal थोड़ा सा practice करके थोड़ा सा aura एक दो देख लिया, they will also not know. Maybe go next to you will not know. But there is a reason for it. So, but it is possible to see the auras and all those kind of things. And yes,
once happened with me. Somebody passed by me, and suddenly I felt very calm and quiet, and some changes in me. And that person, I was not knowing him at all.
Yeah.
But that something came to me, and when after some time I became normal. Is it that way also? Can we come to some conclusion?
See, what you experience, that is their energy level. That does not mean the person is enlightened. Then maybe many people are there which with a good vibe and positive vibration, and they are maybe by good-hearted people, and that's there. You feel that calm and quiet. But if you link it with enlightenment, that may not be correct. That may not be.
Right.
Okay, maybe or may not be. I'm not saying no. I'm saying that that is not the only criteria. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. God bless you.
Rajiv, the one last question. So,
Go ahead. No problem.
Is there a practice that I can do to be able to see other people's aura?
Yeah, the 108 stomach breathing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and if you practice regularly and multiple times in a day, you will be able to see aura.
The colors. You mean the colors, right? Seeing aura means
the color is a second level. First layer is a white always.
Oh.
Okay. You see here you can see the outline of my body, yeah?
Yes.
And then this one, there is a white border up to here.
Yes.
And how do you know it is not the light backside? Because if I move my head, it will move with me.
Yes.
Okay. And second level of aura, if you can see up to here, you see the second level of aura. This one.
Okay.
Yes.
And beyond that, and this is a tinge. This is the color changes with the what you are operating with, the chakra currently you are operating with. And there is a further one up there, and that is goes further, the higher level of body. Just 7 body systems. The more you go higher, you can see that the higher level of auras. Okay, but all of us, we practice a spiritual thing. You should be able to see the first one, this one. Yeah. Very easily. This one is very easily you can see. Yeah.
Yes.
Or seeing that
in the hand also, you can see that param.
Or seeing that to be able to see that white is only seeing the aura. Doesn't have to be the colors.
No. White is the first layer.
Okay.
Okay. White is the first layer of that aura. It is energy body.
Okay.
It's a pranamaya kosha. Then you have to have manamaya kosha, emotional body. Emotional body get affected by the color. But when you the higher body, then you can go to the other bodies, knowledge body and all those things. So those are all the higher level.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Fine. I think so. I hope there's no further question. If there is any, then you can ask. God bless you. Okay, because this session we better to have all questions answered. And meditation time will be less, but still we can do whatever time permits. And tomorrow again we'll have the full meditation session. So all right. So if there is no further question, so we'll go into our Kriya and meditation. So we'll do the Kriya 2 rounds, and then go how much time left. We'll do some meditation for that.